Most personal injury firms think ranking for a keyword is a win. It's not. If the person searching isn't ready to hire an attorney, that ranking doesn't turn into a retained case. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly how we think about search intent for personal injury firms. And by the end, you'll know how to tell the difference between a search that brings you traffic and a search that brings you a client. For those that are new here, my name is Jesse Stewart. I'm a paralegal and an SEO specialist, and I help personal injury firms generate more retained cases using retained client SEO without PPC dependency. If you appreciate me making this type of content, let me know by gently tapping that like button. Now let's get into today's video. For those, search intent is the reason behind a search. It's not the word someone types, it's what they actually want when they type them. Two people can search the same thing that looks almost identical and want completely different things. One wants information, the other wants to hire someone today. If your SEO strategy treats every search the same way, you're optimizing for the wrong outcome. And that's exactly where most personal injury firms go wrong. Now, there are four recognized types of search intent: informational, navigational, commercial, and transactional. The informational means someone wants to learn something. Navigational means they're looking for a specific site or business they already know. Commercial means they are comparing options before making a decision. And transactional means they're ready to act right now. Most personal injury firms build their entire content strategy around informational searches because those searches have the highest volume. More volume looks good on the report, but volume isn't the goal. Retained cases is the goal. Let's talk about the informational trap because this is where most of the wasted SEO budget goes. Searches like how are wrongful death settlements paid out get real volume. Around 200 searches a month in the US, Firms rank for them, traffic goes up and it feels like SEO is working. But someone typing that question is usually still trying to understand their situation. They're not ready to hire an attorney yet. That doesn't mean informational content is worthless. It builds trust and it can nurture someone toward calling later. But if that's the only kind of content your site has, you're filling the top of the funnel and starving the bottom. Here's where retained cases actually comes from: commercial and transactional intent. Commercial intent looks like best personal injury lawyer near me. That person is comparing firms. They already know they need a lawyer and they're just deciding on which one. Transactional intent looks like a car accident lawyer free consultation. That person is ready to pick up the phone. Industry data backs this up directly. The conversion gap between high intent keywords and informational keywords like what is personal injury law runs 5 times higher or more because one searcher already made the decision that matters most. They decided to hire someone. Let me give you a real example of how this plays out. Motorcycle accident lawyer pulls around 48,000 searches a month nationally. That sounds like a huge opportunity, and firms chase it because the number looks impressive on a report. But a big chunk of that volume includes people researching after an accident, comparing general information, or not even in your state. Now compare that to phrases like car accident lawyer near me, searched inside a single mid-sized city. That kind of local, high intent phrase might only pull a few hundred searches a month in your city, yet it consistently produces 20 to 40% lead to call rate for firms that rank in the top three. A few hundred of the right searches will out earn tens of thousands of the wrong ones each and every single time. If your homepage and your practice page areas are written like blog posts answering questions instead of pages built to convert someone who was already decided to hire a lawyer, you're losing the exact traffic that matters most. And by the way, this is exactly why more traffic doesn't always mean more retained cases. It just means more people are landing on pages that were never built to convert them. Intent also shifts depending on the case type, and this is something firms miss constantly. A car accident search tends to skew transactional fast because the person usually knows within days that they need a lawyer. A medical malpractice search behaves completely different. Someone might spend weeks or months researching before they ever search anything close to hire a lawyer because they're still trying to understand whether what happened to them even counts as malpractice. Same goal, retain the case, but two completely different content strategies. If you're writing malpractice content the same way you write car accident content, you're rushing people who aren't ready and losing them before they trust you enough to call. This is where retained client SEO works differently than traditional SEO. Traditional SEO chases keyboard volume. It sees a big number and builds a page around it, regardless of what the person searching actually wants. Retained client SEO starts with intent, not the keyword. We ask, is this search informational, commercial, or transactional? When we build the page to match that intent exactly. A transactional page gets a clear call to action, a phone number above the fold, and language built for someone ready to decide. An informational page gets built to educate and gently guide someone towards that next step without pretending they're ready to hire today. Same website, two completely different jobs because the person searching has two completely different mindsets. Here's a quick audit you can run on your own site right now. Pull up your top 10 organic landing pages in your analytics. For each one, ask yourself honestly, is this page written for someone who's researching or someone who's ready to call? If a page is getting traffic, but the bounce rate is high and the calls aren't coming, there's a strong chance the content is informational, but the page is trying to force a transactional action. Or the other way around, the content is written like a hard pitch when the visitor was still in research mode. Fixing that mismatch without touching your rankings at all is one of the fastest ways to turn an existing traffic into retained cases. Here's the mistake I see most often. Firms treat all organic traffic like it's equal. They look at total visitors and think more is always better. But one visitor with transactional intent is worth more than 100 visitors with informational intent who aren't ready to call anyone yet. If your SEO reporting only tracks total sessions and keyword rankings, you're missing the one number that actually matters, which is how many of those visitors were the kind of person who was ready to become a client. That's the whole reason we built retained client SEO around case intent instead of raw traffic. Rankings measure visibility. Intent measures whether that visibility can actually turn into a retained case. If this video made sense to you, do me a favor. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Hit that like button if you found this useful. And if you know an attorney or a firm owner who's currently frustrated with their SEO or who has no idea if it's actually working, send them this video. They'll thank you for it. We'll see you in the next video.